without further ado, Alex, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. How's everybody doing? Did you guys enjoy the first ever 2-hour Turbo Hackathon, Bitcoin++? Did we like the 2-hour format, the go super, super fast and, you know, just drive like a race car through the hackathon?
Vroom.
Vroom, vroom. I think we did. All right, let's go. First, quick shout out to our star-studded, amazing panel of judges. Yeah, there was a vigorous debate in the judges' room. They paid attention to every project with incredible detail, took scrupulous notes, and just know that they all paid attention to each one of your projects. Overall, they were very, very impressed with everybody. So hats off to all of the hackers at this hackathon. Nifty, you want to recap our judging criteria?
Right. So our judges considered each project on a 3 kind of axis matrix, huh?
Caption.
3 caption.
Yeah.
So first thing we consider is how routine difficulty, how ambitious or difficult was what you set out to do. The second thing that was considered is the routine execution, or how well did you actually achieve and execute on what you've set out to do. And the final is something we call general effect. This is how well did your project match to the theme, how much kind of pizzazz or flair did you add into your presentation, that sort of criteria.
Awesome. Are you guys ready to see who won? All right. First up, quirkiest hack. The caption of this is, "You didn't win a top prize, but you certainly made the judges smile."
You little drum roll going, just like there we go. Quirkiest hack goes to cypherpunks ads. Come forward, yeah, congrats.
Yeah, come up, get your prize, take a picture.
You want me to go find the?
It's okay. Want to come
You
up?
come on up and we'll take your picture. Yeah, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cool.
Awesome.
And the lawyer said I cannot serve cereal, so I'm going to seal this box and definitely don't open it.
Quirkiest hack, everybody.
Congratulations, Sam. Yeah. All right, what's next, Alex?
Moving on, best design for the project with the most intuitive, polished, and visually appealing user interface goes to Zapback.
Zapback.
Is Zapback here?
Yep, Zapback is here.
Nifty, did you get to see Zapback?
I did, yes.
What was Zapback?
Zapback is about zapping your friends back to see who stops zapping first.
And they had a pretty cool ASCII art thing,
They
didn't
had
they?
a really cool ASCII art at the beginning, so I was very impressed with this.
Congratulations.
Cool, thank you, yeah.
Picture. Sweet. Congrats.
Like your...
Cool. Congratulations, Zapback.
All right.
Really well done. Thanks.
Moving on.
What's next, Alex?
Best beginner hack.
Best beginner hack. This goes to the hacker who is the hasn't committed to any projects previously. First time contributor to open source Bitcoin. Cool. So who are we rewarding the best beginner hack to today, Alex?
Rewarding Split
Split
Byte.
Byte. Oh. Madeline told us she had never even used a CLI before today, so very impressed with what you were able to produce. This is for you. Yeah, thanks.
Nice.
Cool. Thank
Congrats.
you. Congrats. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. Most ambitious. This is, again, a 2-hour hackathon. So who blew the judges away with the amount of code you shipped? The most ambitious goes to Instant Issues.
Good job, guys.
Congratulations.
Congrats. Yeah, yeah. Come on up.
All right. If you want to step forward, so you're out of the whatever. Congrats, guys.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate your ambition and what you were planning.
You flexing
it's really
on
great.
everybody. Yay. Moving on. Most educational, Nifty.
So most likely to inspire my mom or kid brother to use Bitcoin. This goes to
8 words.
8 words. Congratulations. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. 8 words lets you take your 12 words and turn them, no, 24 words and turn them into 8.
But
So
with a longer word list, so it's the same amount of
longer
entropy.
word lists.
Yeah.
less to remember, but same amount of stuff. So congratulations, really cool project. All right, so this is our last challenge prize.
Yeah, the last side prize.
So this goes to the best use of AI. Who best incorporated AI into their project?
Yeah, best, what do we call them? The helpful idiots, as we say, for the AI overlords, goes to Code Controller.
These guys use terms I'd never heard before, so I think they knew what they were doing with AI stuff. It's very cool
like
to see. Congratulations,
Terms
guys.
like cloud and crazy.
Crazy.
Congrats. Sick.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Congratulations.
TUI. All right.
All right.
Moving on to our best overall. So this we're going to start. We have 3 top prizes.
Yeah, we have 3 best overall, first place, second place, third place. These are the overall winners of the Bitcoin++ Turbo Edition Hackathon. What do the winners of this hackathon of the best overall get, Nifty?
Right, so very happy today to be handing out tickets to Bitcoin++ Memple Edition, which will be here in Austin this May. Really hope that you guys come and learn about what's going on in the Bitcoin ecosystem. We'll also giving you an opportunity to present your project at the Austin Bitcoin Design Club tonight, which starts right after this. So if you are one of the top 3 presenters, there's some time reserved for you to present your project to the Bitcoin design community here in Austin and get their feedback on your project. So, all right, Alex. Should we get a drum roll going for third place? Goes to creditbitscore.com.
Creditbitscore.com. Congratulations.
Congrats. Yeah, thank you. Cool.
Nice.
Great. Thank you. Yeah.
And second place, overall at Bitcoin++ Turbo Edition goes to
Core Explorer. Cool. Thanks, John.
Great job.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Nice job.
Cool.
And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, winning tickets to Bitcoin++ in Austin, Texas. But Nifty, well, what's different about this prize?
This one's a little bit different, Alex. So this one, not just tickets to Bitcoin++ in Austin, but to any 2 Bitcoin conferences anywhere in the world this year. So choose your own adventure. We're going to 5 different countries, so come to Bitcoin++ anywhere in the world. It should be great.
Winning.
In Taipei. So this goes to BitDoom. Congrats, guys.
Congratulations, guys.
Like, this one's a little heavy. I might need some help picking that one up. No, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, maybe we should like.
Step to the front of the thing and you'll be, or no, still be on the stage, just at the front of it.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah. Great job.
Awesome.
Great job.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, the
Thank you,
adults.
guys.
Do you want to explain your project briefly?
We built a first-person shooter game where you pay with Bitcoin to enter the game, but then everybody's going to kill you to try and take your Bitcoin. So you can respawn and try to kill them back, and it's a King of the Hill game, basically.
Very cool. Great.
2 hours, peer-to-peer, live video games.
Very
Pretty
impressive.
ridiculous. All right. Yeah, we really hope you guys enjoyed Bitcoin++ AI Turbo Hackathon. If you have any feedback about this format, this is kind of an experiment. We've never done a hackathon this fast before. So if you have any ideas of where to do these micro hackathons or any ideas about how to make this a better experience for everybody, please let us know. And without further ado, we're going to hear some closing remarks from Nifty Nye herself.
Yeah, so we have 2 things that I want to show. First is, first of all, thank you for coming and participating. It was really amazing to see everyone show up and participate and build something so quickly. It was really hard to pick the best projects. So that was awesome. If you had a good time hacking here and want to hack some more, also come to and hang out with other Bitcoin developers. We're doing a 3-day event in Austin On the May 7th to 9th, we're calling it the pool edition, where we talk about mempools and mining pools, all kinds of things about moving transactions through the network. Really excited about it. So if you want to get some tickets, they're here. And then we're giving you a code for 15% off if you pay with Bitcoin, if you use the discount code TURBO at checkout, which is very exciting. So really hope that to see some of you, if not everyone, in May for our big 3-day event, which is coming up. It'll be our 4th year here in Austin. We're very excited to be coming back to run our 4th event here. Great. And then I think we had, Michael says we expect to sell out. So unless you're a winner of the hackathon and you're taken care of, don't wait to get your tickets. Great. And then we had one more thing to announce, which I think is the. Okay, cool. Is it on here?
It is. Oh, it was escape and go back to the slides.
Click to here.
Tab just to the left.
Oh no, not that one. Great.
And then go full screen or hit slideshow on the top right.
Slideshow done.
And next.
Oh, okay. And so the final thing that we want to do is, in addition to having our in-person hackathon here in Austin in May, this is kind of our soft launch. It'll be formally announced next week, but we wanted to give all of you an opportunity to go ahead and start thinking about it and sign up for it. We're going to be partnering with the Bitcoin Magazine this year for their virtual hackathon online. We're very excited about this. So we hope that all of you will come and participate. It's going to be about a month long. It starts in April. But if you want to sign up now, you can go to btcplusplus.dev/Vegas25 and go ahead and register your team and get signed up. We really hope to see some of you competing in Vegas with us. So,
Hi, I'm Steven.
What's up? I'm Chad.
So our project is called BitDoom. I'll explain what BitDoom is. I'll go ahead and say, I'll reiterate what Alex said. This looks like shit. It was a 2-hour hackathon. Most days of the week, I identify as a designer, but not today. Today, I was a vibe coder. So I think the kind of feedback that's the most useful during this is probably not how it looks, but maybe more like product feedback, like what kind of features you'd be interested in seeing, which I'm not going to implement as per the last discussion. I'm going to try to get to the root of your pain and figure out what you really want out of BitDoom. So what is BitDoom? It's an immersive first-person shooter experience powered by Bitcoin. Not really powered by, it's more of a marketing term, but just being blunt. So basically what it is you're going to pay with Lightning. We're going to let you into the game at that point. You're now in the game with 1,000 sats. Everybody's going to try and kill you and take your Bitcoin. So you need to try and kill them instead. And if you do kill them instead, you take their Bitcoin. But now everybody's going to try and come after you because you have more Bitcoin. So this is a back and forth king of the hill battle. And then you need to escape from the exit portal once you feel like you've racked up enough sats and then cash out. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Chad, would you like to say anything at this point? Like any comments? Okay. Just jump in whenever you want to, all right? All right. Let's see. So we're going to go to bitdoom.app. And it has an AI-generated soundtrack as well for the game. And I'm going to enter my Lightning address here. And then, let's see, let me pull out a Strike or something and try and pay this. Let's see if I can figure out how to use a computer. Thank you for the product feedback. You're right. The AI forgot to do it. Come on, pay Strike. I thought you were supposed to be like the best Lightning node in the world or whatever. Oh, for fuck's sake. Somebody else want to pay my Lightning invoice for me? I promise I won't lose your Bitcoin. I'm really good at this game. I beat Alex at this game earlier. There we go. Okay, I'm in the game now. So this is a little weird. I'm not going to lie without my mouse, but I think we have some zombie players there, but I think Chad is Proud Links over there. So as you can see, I'm going to try and shoot him, and he's shot me, so my health is down to 90%. I have 1,000 sats at the bottom of the screen. I don't know why it keeps, like, the music keeps cutting out, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, who is this? We have Brave Badger back there? Who's that? Oh crap! More people. Oh man, I'm racking up. I got like 4,000 sats now. How'd that happen? Maybe Chad had a bunch of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I did.
Oh crap! Are people actually joining the game now? Holy crap! Using the mouse. Okay, the portal's open. I got to get to the chopper, and I got to see if I can get to the chopper and cash out before somebody kills me. I'm only at 30% health. Oh, the portal disappeared. Now I have to fight for my life. So I'm probably about to lose my Bitcoin in the next like couple minutes here. Okay. Oh, I'm doomed. Oh crap! Somebody got me. So yeah, now I can respawn. But now that I've respawned, I have 0 sats. So yeah, that's basically it. I know we're running on a long time, so I'll stop it there. Product feedback, questions, comments. What sucks? What's up?
This is obviously a version 0. What do you want to build?
I want to fix all the bugs, like get it so that people can't spawn camp you while you're paying your Lightning invoice, Alex. I also want to make sure the withdrawal system isn't so buggy. I want to make the floor lava, and if you fall and you have to jump on platforms, and if you fall into the lava, then Chad and I get your Bitcoin. I want to. Chad wants to add in so you can zap and put your own advertisements into the game itself. So yeah, all kinds of product features really. We want to make it like Sonic so that if you shoot somebody, all the Bitcoin falls out of them like the rings in Sonic and you have to run around collecting everything. We want to add in a feature to where if you're trying to get to the portal before it closes, you can hold down shift to like boost, but it'll burn some of your sats. But it'll get you to the portal on time. So are you comfortable losing some of the Bitcoin to escape? So yeah, well, this is going to be a whole like thing.
So I want to just like frame how we could approach design creating this, because like as you just explained, there are a million things that we could add, turn it into an amazing FPS game. And so perhaps the better framing for this conversation is, what could they have done better in the hackathon, right? What about this? Try to zoom out and look at the wrapper, the framing, the meta aspect of what they built, how they showed it off at the hackathon. And so from a design crit perspective, we could help them with their next hackathon in that sense, right? Not so much, oh, you should add this feature and that feature. It's like, obviously, there's a million cool things they could build and will hopefully build. So yeah, I just want to frame the conversation like that.
So when you first join, it's just like enter a Lightning address. If you're trying to get a bunch of users, they're not going to have a Lightning address. They don't even know what Lightning is. So it'd be better if it was like you just play, and then if you happen to win money, then you can you like sign up with Strike or whatever, just give them a ref code, and then it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it's a great idea actually. And one idea we had discussed is like maybe all the people who fall into the Lightning and lose their Bitcoin, that could go into like a new player pool. Mm-hmm. So it like basically funds new people entering the game or something like that. Or we could just give people some free tries or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe one thing you could do, I've seen on like similar games, is when the player drops in, have a quick explainer modal before you have like the first user action. Like, this is an FPS game, works with Bitcoin, put in a Lightning address, pay to play, and then try to win money. Just yeah. But at least it's there if you don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I may agree. There does need to be some optional, skippable, but present introduction. Yeah, it would be useful, I think.
Actually, I want to push back against the framing. I think you all did exactly the right thing. Like, these are the exact minimal features that you'd want. It's like the minimum Lightning integration, the minimum shooter, and then the minimum full end-to-end loop of the game. I can't really imagine what you could have taken away and or traded off and done instead of to have a better MVP demo. So I think really all the right trade-offs were made. But show me red when I'm getting shot so I can tell.
Oh yeah, I want to add some grunting and all that. Cool.
It's probably a harsh critique, but maybe if you would focus on different type of games, something 2D, then you can play with the gamification of the Bitcoin aspects a little more, and that might be an interesting part versus, the graphics of the first-person shooter game. That's kind of difficult, and that's maybe like the weakest point of your thing.
Yeah. So how do we use AI? So I mean, first we used bolt.new to scaffold the framework of it, and we basically, said build us, first person, the beginnings of a first person shooter game. Give us a floor that goes on forever with a space texture, 4 columns in the middle. Use 3JS, and we told it what libraries to use basically. It scaffolded the project and then downloaded that. I took that into Cursor Agent and pair programmed with the AI agent in that. Or pair program is not really the right term. More like you're my senior engineer and I'm your PM, and I just tell you what to do on stand up every day, sort of thing. And then I used Midjourney to create the character sprites, the Marines, the logo, and the slide deck, all of that. I used Clip Drop to remove the backgrounds and refine the artwork, like cleaning up details in that. And used Suno for generating the soundtrack.
So can I ask 2 questions?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you asked for feedback that like would be constructive for the hackathon, but I guess the question that I would ask is like, what would you have built next if you had an extra 20 minutes? And then I have a question about your workflow. It sounds like you've got a lot of different tools and tool sets that are set up already. Can you maybe describe that a little bit? And also, if you've got that shared somewhere or documented somewhere, it would be super constructive for other devs who are trying to like level up our ability to use these tools.
Sure. Chad, what would you build in the next 20 minutes?
Yeah, I'd probably just add more sounds like to walking, and I'd probably fix when an enemy is like shooting at you, you can't really see the projectile coming at you. That's probably what I would have done.
I agree. Quality of life stuff. I don't know if I have it documented somewhere, but I'm sure I could. I mean, I have there's some stuff going on the ATL BitLab podcast about like AI, like art design, AI workflows from one of our BitLab, yeah. ATL BITLAB, and we're a Bitcoin hackerspace in Atlanta. So I have that will be going live soon. It's called AI Will Not Take Your Job, but a senior designer using AI will. And then I did a talk for Pleb Lab at the top builders where we kind of go through using Cursor Agent and doing UX research to kind of like rapidly iterate as an engineer to like rapidly iterate through product prototypes by basically kind of taking the user feedback and, finding design examples online and feeding that into Cursor. So I don't know if I have like a full stack thing because it kind of just depends on the situation and what you need, but those might be good video resources for you. All right, team 2. Sweet.
No. Oh, it's got like really high resolution. Right. Cool. So, hello everybody. Our project's called Core Explorer, and the goal of it is to create sort of like a way to display, measure, and sort of track how much peer review each line of code that goes into Bitcoin gets, right? So we're trying to like figure out how to watch the watchers, so to speak. And I think there's a lot of cool ways that we can deal with this stuff, different ways to display it. Most of the code that goes into Bitcoin is fantastic, but every once in a while there's
there are what we call self merges, right? And that's like the big baddie, right? And the big baddie is like somebody that has both write access to Bitcoin Core, so they're a maintainer, also merges a commit where they were a contributor to that commit. And the worst case scenario would be like they do want to do it, they do a self merge, and nobody else reviewed the code. And so with this website, the idea was, well, let's get some. Let's we can look at open PRs, closed PRs, and merged PRs. We can look at the active maintainer list, and the maintainers actually change over time. So that's something that kind of complicates it a little bit. We have the data from Bitcoin from the GitHub repo, and let's say we go and look at the merged PR. The idea here is it takes you to the website with a little bit more information, shows you the contributors, shows you how much code they contributed each in percentage terms. It shows you the reviews, and the reviews are like comments that people make and whether they act or not or this or that, right? What their opinion on or conclusions were. It shows you some commit data, and it has a little bot, and the bot is very helpful if you ask it, tell me more of this PR. It gets a document with relevant information about the PR, and now you can talk to the PR. You can sort of have a discussion with AI to help you explore the PR. And this is actually like a legit LLM query, like it actually is a real AI response. So that's a project. Yeah, we did a lot of other stuff. We actually had like four different implementations of it. This is the prettiest one. Yeah. But yeah.
I think we spent a bunch of time on the prompting of the functionality, and we've previously spent some time thinking about this project. So we had a good sense of what we wanted to display, and had previously written some code that performs some of these steps already. But we didn't have to use that for this trick because the robots were able to help us out. I'd be really curious to hear about so the idea that we're after here is like risk mitigation for core. And there are a lot of opinions about how to mitigate the centralization risk at core. And I think there are reasons to be alert to the possibility that some maintainer could like ship some bullshit code, or that some pair or group of maintainers could ship bullshit code. I'd be really interested to hear about what you think the risks are that aren't obvious, or like how would you go about the process of looking at the data that is in the Git folder within the Bitcoin repo, or which is actually on the GitHub website, but also obviously the functionality, like what would be useful to see on this webpage.
Maybe to inform my response to that, who do you imagine is the user of this app? Is it another maintainer? Is it some random third party on the internet? Is it an oversight committee?
So I think there's two users. In my opinion, there's two users. There's people that are, let's say, professional developers that are, or security researchers that are like, keeping an eye on soft targets or looking for work to improve. There's also like new potential developers that are looking for code to review, right? So I think from an educational perspective, it can be a really easy way to choose what to work on if you're trying to make your name in the Bitcoin world. I'd say those are the two main targets.
Yeah,
but other use cases, I think that'd be really interesting to hear as well if you have other ideas.
Yeah, like the use case for the open PRs, I think makes a ton of sense. Like if there was just an ordered list of open PRs by like degree of rigor on reviews, then it'd be really easy for like a new contributor to say, oh, this PR has the least amount of review that's open out of all of them. I'm going to start with that one.
Or even like, or like this has a lot of attention on it right now. Do you also want to look at it?
Yeah, like maybe it's super interesting for on either end.
There's a site that's kind of like that. It's optimized for like actual core developers. It's bitcoinaxe.com.
Axe?
Like ACKS. And yeah, like that's kind of like a lot of devs use to like find like what needs review and stuff like that. But yeah, I think this is like kind of different products, but yeah, it's pretty similar.
One question I had, I think you might have mentioned that, I think you said something like this is one of like 4 implementations or something. Did you mean that from like a UI layout point of view?
I mean,
or what do you mean?
One of the challenges in the hackathon is working with multiple humans and multiple AIs to produce a singular product, which is, I think, part of the reason that this the BitDoom workflow is kind of interesting. There are several different robots participating in that process, and it seems like a couple of humans as well. And you guys did a great thing. The challenge of creating a demonstrable product with multiple AIs is that how do you if you're going to ask the AI, oh, build me an app or like build me a backend or build me a front end, you still need to have that integrated component. Right. And so without having initially, if we had started with, build me an app that has an API at port 5000 and serves off of port 80 or whatever, that might have been a helpful part of the prompt. And then you could split the effort between multiple machines. But as it turned out, we just really struggled to get that integrated result. So we went with the prettiest one.
Yeah, we spent like 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes building a super prompt, right? That really described the project as well as we could. And then we gave it to Grok, and Grok gave us an output that we try to put on a server, and it sort of actually works, but it's not as pretty. And so then I took that same prompt, took it to V0, and with V0 we made it pretty, right? But so then it's like different levels of integration. The data was on the server, so
yeah,
that's where it's like okay.
And like
just visual design, text hierarchy point of view, if you go back to like the original page, I don't know about you guys, but to me it feels pretty, like if I squint, I feel like I can see whenever that loads. It seems pretty good. Like, I mean, if I just kind of squint, you can nitpick, obviously, like there's some contrast issues maybe with the tab, a little hard to read the open PRs, or maybe that's just the screen, I don't know. But overall, it seems like hierarchy's pretty good. I don't know. Yeah.
Do you guys like this setup where you have the maintainers on the left and then this tab? Does that make sense? Maybe I feel like for mobile it might not work. For mobile it might be like right. Second.
It's important to know who the active maintainers are to answer this problem question that we have. It's not necessarily important for the user, but it appeared because we are curious about whether this procedural step is being followed, that maintainers, we would hope, are not shipping code that they wrote, like not merging code that they wrote.
Yeah, from a security perspective, they're the ones that have the power to write code to GitHub. So you want to know what they're doing. And I think from like the security dimension of it might be a page that like lets you sort of
select which devs
surf
to,
that,
yeah.
you know. Mm. Right.
I think something too is like I think most people don't even know what a PR is. Like they just want to update to like the next version. So something just like being able to like see like, okay, from commits from version 26 to 27, was there any self merges? And like, can you describe what actually changed in here and like how does that affect my node? Like that would be like probably more actionable to the user than just like, oh, PR 25,000 had this in it. Like they don't know what the fuck that means, let alone like 80% of PRs in Bitcoin Core aren't like directly related to users. It's like, oh, we updated a build system, or we fixed some CI or something. So it's like
this is like a supplement to the release notes.
Yeah, it's like or like it's an RPC change, which is like most likely the user is never going to touch that. So like it's not like actionable to them. But the important things like the wallet, they I think that like the latest Bitcoin Core release deprecated legacy wallets. So it's like, okay, that's actually important to the user, so that could be called out and they can see all the PRs related to that. But like an RPC change, they don't care about that.
That's really
That's cool idea. Yeah.
I think there's kind of like, you have two different things here, at least from my perspective. One is like there's this static, niche, singular risk factor I want to check that you're showing me. I feel like that should live on its own static page. Like, framed in such a way, has Bitcoin been, merged into by a single contributor today? No. And then there's the functionality that you've built, which is actually pretty generic. Like, I can open up a PR and chat with an LLM about it, right? Those two ideas are kind of butting up against each other, and I feel like you could split them out. Maybe because one is a very specific use case and one is this generic use case, but obviously focused on Bitcoin.
Right.
there's such a neat product idea in the thing, and I think you nailed it with separating the two pieces.
Yeah, and then there's sort of like, there's applicability to other open source code bases as well that don't have the same, let's say, niche, things that Bitcoin Core has, which we've found in this project, right? Like really trying to study how Bitcoin Core works. Can you explain the merge thing? How that?
I could try, but
yeah,
the process is like, when you want to contribute to Bitcoin, you fork Bitcoin and you make commits to your own branch, and then you create a pull request back to Bitcoin Core. One of the maintainers is responsible for branching, or like taking the commits from your branch and merging them as a single commit, and then signing that commit and then updating the Bitcoin repo. And if anybody out there has like a better sense of that, please like interrupt me and fix that. But the idea is that like there's then a hook, which is part of GitHub's process for, I think it's a before hook, before the merge goes through. It ensures that whatever commit is being passed in has been signed by somebody on this list of 8 maintainers or 7 maintainers or whatever it is. And that list of maintainers changes over time. And yeah, so that's the one nitpicky kind of niche use case that we have. But the process of performing change to the code is not like a typical GitHub process. It's not just like press the green button and it's merged. And that's the special case.
Yeah, and it's because Bitcoin Core does not trust GitHub's merging workflow. So they built their own, and it's, So that's very code-based specific, but yeah.
For sure. What about, how many sats is that?
I don't know. I know what it was at 100K. I don't know what it is now.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
No audio, but I think I might need a Mac adapter. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. In the meantime, maybe I can just explain to you what the core of my idea is. And there's really not much to look at on the website anyway. I did produce a proof of concept during the 2-hour hackathon, but it's pretty simple once you see it. So the inspiration for my idea came from a quote by JP Morgan: "Gold is money and everything else is credit." And I think most of the community in the Bitcoin world is focused on fixing the money, and rightfully so. But even if you scale the money and there's an L2 like Lightning or something that really scales the money really well, that doesn't solve for credit. Like, credit still exists, and not to reinvent the banking system or anything, but I think that we would still find credit useful even as a Bitcoiner, even as we interact with each other. If you're trying to scale a Bitcoin ecosystem, oh, thank you. So, for example, if you've ever, how many people here have ever like earned Bitcoin, like worked and received Bitcoin? All right, good amount of the crowd. If you could imagine, a future Bitcoinization of the world, like you would do more and more of that and less of work for fiat. And if you need to maintain your fiat credit score to qualify to buy a car or buy a house or rent an apartment, then you're kind of have a foot in both worlds. You want to maintain your fiat score and a good reputation there, but you also want Bitcoin. And if you're all in Bitcoin, then most of your wealth is in Bitcoin, and you can't prove in a bank statement that you have a lot of assets in the fiat world. And if your paycheck is in Bitcoin, you can't prove you have cash flow and pay stubs from fiat world. So what's needed and what I built is a Bitcoin credit score. So this actually, I was able to use Grok and combined with Replit to tie into a Block Explorer API. And if you paste in a Bitcoin address that has a UTXO in it, not a receive address, but it will evaluate it based on a few considerations. Oh yeah, sorry, this is really small, huh? So thank you. So it doesn't look at you as a person. That's what CBDCs would do, right? Like, oh, are you a good person? Did you buy an electric car? Are you eating vegetables? Whatever. But this is the Bitcoin version of a credit score. And so it only looks at your Bitcoin address and what can it learn from that financially. And so are you using it consistently? Where are the funding sources sourced from? What's your spending behavior and stacking behavior? So basically substitutes or proxies for cash flow, right? Are you earning money and saving every month? And wealth, or do you have a big stack? But the thing is, as Bitcoiners, we don't want to show that wallet to just anyone and reveal all that private information. So what I coded in the hackathon is a third-party solution. So you enter your Bitcoin address, it calculates a Bitcoin credit score, and you get your score result here based on a weighted activity, fund sources, spending behavior, and risk indicators. Now, obviously, this is problematic because you've just revealed your address to this third party. So what I realized from doing this is that if I could do it again, or when I fix it, I would actually make that sort of like client side, so that you could receive all of the creditors' criteria and their score algorithm, and you could sort of plug it into your own node and use your own address and sign it off in a way that they can verify that you control that address, and then deliver to them a blind sort of report of here's my Bitcoin credit score, and it's mine because I signed the phrase that you told me to sign, and so you control it, and no third party nor the creditor would know sort of your address or your personal information. So that's really it, other than generating the score itself. And by the way, this address has 100 Bitcoin, so it only got an 80 out of 100 with 100 Bitcoin in it. One of the other things I would change is a feature to let the creditor adjust the weighted scales. So if you want someone wealthy, you would weight that. If you want someone with more cash flow and more stacking every week, you could weight that. But there's also this share button where you create a shareable link, and you can send that to the landlord or whatever, and then they can see the score without seeing your address, your Bitcoin address. So the idea is there. It's probably not perfect in implementation. It's really simple, graphically. I realize this is design aficionados, but maybe what I'd be interested in hearing is your comments on the the product design, and you talked earlier about faster horses and not asking for a car but faster horses. Like, no one's asking for this. No Bitcoin wants a credit score, right? Nobody wants to go back to the banking system, but it exists, and it's going to exist, and either it stays in Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian's hands, or we use it to improve our trading with each other.
Who's your target market of who you would market this to? And I'll let you answer that, and then I have thoughts around it, and that might answer what you just said.
Yeah, so I guess like keeping in mind sort of the peer-to-peer economy, my target is your average Bitcoiner. I've worked for Bitcoin, I've earned Bitcoin, I've had fiat jobs, and I've realized the sort of dilemma of wanting to maintain a fiat reputation but having a Bitcoin belief system. So how do you merge those? And I think the answer is to take control of the credit scoring and not let it fall into a CBDC hands or let it stay in fiat hands.
So my
Friend that only has Bitcoin, trying to get an apartment, didn't have like proof of income or something like that. All these weird scenarios. I feel like this could help theoretically if you take it to the extreme, showing proof of like solvency, like I can pay rent.
Exactly.
I think Sawhill's getting to my point is not necessarily the individual user, but what businesses might use this. And it seems like your first target market might be Bitcoin lenders, like an Unchained or others that would directly use this.
Anyone know anyone from Unchained?
Can you help me understand? Can you help me understand how you can derive, let's say, credit worthiness from like on-chain history? Like what analysis are you doing there? Because in theory, all you see is money coming in and money leaving an address or a set of addresses. But what does that tell you about the person's, let's say, reliability or trustworthiness or this or that?
Yeah, so this, you probably can't read this, but this is the scoring details. I used Grok to help me think through how the algorithm would look for the credit scoring. And so this drills down into detail a lot of what it's using from on-chain information in order to evaluate things. It's things like transaction frequency, the age of the address, the balance trends, so balance going up or trending down, metrics of input address analysis, taint check, are the funds from like a hacked, documented hack or something, exchange interaction. And I realize that there's like a huge red flag with like, once you start tainting coins, that's a slippery slope, but it exists, it's already information out there. For spending behavior, there's output patterns, hoarding versus spending, transaction size, and then for risk indicators, there's mixing signs, dust transactions, and cluster size. So, this is just what it spat out and I did in 2 hours. I would obviously have like a lot more tweaking to that algorithm if I were to go try to make it into a business or something. And especially that's why I wanted to keep it adjustable to the creditor so that they can weight the algorithm differently and highlight what they value for in the people that they're counterparties.
Supposed to reuse an address in general?
Right, you're not supposed to reuse an address, and that's why I also would redo it. Instead of giving the address to a third party, I would allow you to, basically, you would bring in the algorithm into your own client-side node and run it on your own information and data, and then you could just send the report back without any private information. You could reveal however much you want. Like if I only wanted to show that I had, a small amount, I could show what's necessary for that creditor, right? You could divide, or if I wanted to show my entire holdings, I could. But I think someone before asked about the use case, I think there's just something, it's obviously not one for one, reporting your income or reporting your wealth, but it's sort of a proxy for that. And the reason we have 3 credit reporting agencies is because none of them are perfect. So even if this provides one data point and there's other companies that provide other data points, someone else mentioned integrate it with social so that you have like reputational, vouching for people and saying that they're like, yeah, that's also another great way to do it. Maybe the answer isn't to put it all into one solution. Maybe that's another thing you evaluate is the person's reputation in the community, but just purely from financial addresses, you can deduce something.
I've got 2 comments real quick here. One is design, one's engineering. On the design front, I think it feels very familiar to me to what I would expect from a credit scoring website to look like in the fiat world. So I think that's a huge win because, even though it doesn't look sexy. It looks familiar, and I think trying to break familiarity is probably a bad step with users, especially when you're trying to talk about something maybe that feels a little scary sometimes, like Bitcoin. So I think it looks great. I think. And on the engineering side, talk about this idea of like, well, we don't want to reuse addresses. What if we could do this locally? But then it starts begging the question of like, well, if you're running it locally, what assurances does that give the person who's actually checking your creditworthiness? Made me thinking, we got like open secret people in the room and all that. Perhaps this is, some kind of tool for confidential computing. Perhaps you could have some kind of open source mechanism for being able to validate the creditworthiness of an entire XPub or an entire series of addresses or what have you. And you could, run that in a confidential compute environment that could be, verifiably, like you could verify the output of it. I don't know, that shit's a little like complicated, crazy, more engineer than I can handle, but throwing the idea out there.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. That's great feedback. And obviously, given more time and serious approach to this, that would be a great idea, a great approach.
It's not a credit score, but it's like proof of reserve sort of thing. So sorry.
Okay.
Proof of reserve sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Similar concept.
But it's a third party that you have to. It's a third party that you have to trust. And I wonder if you know more about the possibility of using zero knowledge proof to blind that that attestation.
I don't.
They might be
but
very interested.
Yeah.
in hearing
Okay.
about that.
Great suggestion. Thank you.
Because we talked about this earlier when you were showing me, and like I realized like going to the client side, it's like the user needs to be able to do it from the client side to keep their privacy, but they need to attest to your service that I followed your protocol and that I scored myself correctly. And then your service needs to attest to the person that's checking the credit that this person used our protocol and we verified that and we're giving you. So it's like a chain of two attestations to get to the end user that can verify without anyone knowing along the way the original address it came from.
Right.
Well, so one thing you'll have to keep in mind too is that if you don't know how much Bitcoin is at stake in these addresses, then the attestation process becomes gameable, because I could create a very good credit score with $5 worth of Bitcoin, and if you don't know how much money I put at stake, then you wouldn't know that there's $5 worth of Bitcoin. So it becomes very cheap. So you kind of like the only way to protect against that is to have like you have to have money at stake, right? So like it would be like an actual person's wage or savings, or the like a relevant amount of HODL value. And then how do you communicate that in a way that doesn't dox the addresses becomes also tricky. But you basically would want the person, you would want them to zero knowledge attestate the total amount that they moved as well, like the numeric volume, even if you obfuscate it with tiers or something like that. Otherwise, it just becomes trivial too.
Right, and as a user, you could still segment like what you're showing them as the total volume, but yes, you would want to like the total amount would be some part of it. Using XPubs rather than one single wallet would probably be advisable. So yeah.
We have time for one more.
This is small, but you have like risk indicators and they're adding to your score. So like if normally a risk indicator would be bad. So I feel like it's like you have 20 out of 20, it's adding 20 points to your thing, but it kind of feels unintuitive. It should be like...
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, even though it probably means that it's highly scoring low risk.
Yeah,
but
like it sounds like you have 20 risk indicators.
I mean, honestly, I didn't look at a line of code. The AI did it all, so it could be giving a high score to really risky situations. I have no idea.
All the safety score outputs.
Okay, yeah, good point. Thank you so much, everyone.